Yo people, checking in from my garden on this fucking beautiful morning, and I'm going to do a video that will hopefully be a little bit informative for you all. So recently I hit 50,000 followers on Instagram, and I thought this would be a good time to make this video because I get a lot of questions asking me about how to amass a following on social media in general, but a lot of the time specific towards Instagram. I think Instagram is one of like the main platforms really now, isn't it? And so a lot of people are interested in that, whether it's for personal or commercial purposes. And obviously I'm no pro at all, but I've been doing it for a couple of years, and I'll kind of share with you what I learned from doing things right and also from doing things wrong, and also things that I still do wrong but do it willingly and I'm at least aware of it. So general do's and don'ts from Joey D here. Tip number motherfucking one is choose an appropriate Instagram handle. So the great thing is you can change it if you fuck up and choose one that's like, well, shit, but don't name yourself after a serial rapist and murderer. That's not great, especially if you're using it for commercial purposes, but however, for me, I think it's funny, so whatevs. Tip number motherfucking two, choose a consistent theme. And so if you look at mine, it is definitely fitness. So everything's going to be loosely fitness related, so you're basically going to see pictures in the gym, shit like that, anything displaying my godly physique, food porn, and then a few quotes and shit thrown in there. Some of them go a little bit off topic, but I suppose quotes are quite relevant to fitness, aren't they, because it's all like motivational shit and that. So I'm never going to stray from that content too much, and if I do, I will post it over on my personal Instagram, which I have exactly for those purposes, because I understand that not everything I find cool or interesting is relevant to the goal of my fitness page. And so I would suggest doing that. If you're going to use an Instagram for specific purposes, then keep everything on topic, and everything else throw it on a personal Instagram where you don't give a shit about who follows you or whatever like that. You know, because when someone follows you, they sign up for specific content, that they know what they want from you, and so consistency really benefits you. Example, I follow a lot of tidy girls on Instagram, right? And I follow them because I want to see pictures of them looking tidy, you know, because I'm a horrible lad. Nah, I'm quite nice. So say I'm scrolling down my newsfeed, yeah, and it's just tidy bird, yep, sweet, cool, that's brightening up my motherfucking day, man. I'm happy with that shit. But then like Christmas comes around and someone thinks it's a good idea to post a picture of like the fucking nan in a Christmas hat trying to pull a cracker with her feet, and I'm like, whoa, shit, I have my dick out here now that someone's nan on my newsfeed. I'm unfollowing that shit right up, man, because that is not what I signed up for. So girls, come on, let's keep it to like tits and ass. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it is an example of consistency of theme. That's why you wanna, you wanna really consider that. And obviously, if you think your nan is cute, that doesn't mean everyone else does. So just be aware of that and try and empathize with your following. Okay. After consistency of theme, I would say consistency of posting. So posting regularly, not having major breaks from posting, not disappearing off Instagram for a bit when you fall out of love with it and then coming back when you're like, oh, I should do Instagram. You know, example, I disappeared to Ibiza for a couple of weeks and then went and filmed X on the Beach for 2.5 weeks, and so I hardly posted. I got my brother to post me a couple of times, but apart from that, I didn't really post, and that really affects your engagement. And that's why when I said earlier that I just got 50,000 followers, that's pretty irrelevant, because your followers does not really matter. What matters is who is engaging with your posts, how many likes you get in, comments, shit like that, who's actually specifically taking an interest in your posts. And so followers are pretty fucking irrelevant. And the reason you need to be consistent with that to keep your engagement up is because the way Instagram chooses to populate your newsfeed is based on how strong a relationship it judges you to have with those people you follow. So this is just a hunch, but I know it's how Facebook works, and now seeing as Facebook owns Instagram, I assume that this is how Instagram do it as well. It would make sense. So say for example, you liked a Facebook page fucking years ago. You know when you're on Tinder and it says like mutual interests with people, and you're like, fuck, I don't remember liking that. That's because you were 12 at the time and you haven't seen it in your newsfeed for years, and that's because either that page hasn't posted or you haven't interacted with any post from that page for a long time. And so Facebook has said, right, this person isn't interested in the posts from this page, and so I'm going to stop populating their newsfeed with those posts, because ideally Facebook, if they can make the most money out of advertising, what they want to do is keep everyone on Facebook for as long as possible, and so it makes sense that they would show you what you are interested in, so you stay, you know. And I think this is how Instagram works as well. And so you will notice that if you take a long break from posting and stuff and then you come back, your engagement will have dropped right off. And this happened to me a couple of times, and really if I was going to start a fitness Instagram now, I would make sure that I didn't do that. But when I first started my Instagram, I didn't have these fitness goals in mind, you know what I mean? It was just an Instagram. But and so that's why you'll notice a big discrepancy between followers and likes on people's pages. So you'll see someone might have 30,000 followers and someone might have 50,000. The one with 30,000 might get 2,000 likes on the pictures, the one with 50 might get 1,000. And so, you know, that's why you need to really keep consistent with your posting. As a follow-on from that, obviously you want to optimize the amount of engagement on each post, because that's how you will grow organically. You know, when you see something, or such and such commented on this post, and then people go to that post, see who it is, maybe follow the person. I recently heard of a guy, someone showed me actually, who tagged The Rock in one of his photos, and The Rock just commented like an emoji or something, and then the guy's followers went up like fucking by thousands just because The Rock commented on it. But it's just an example of how you grow when people comment and like on your shit, and so you need to choose good times to post when Instagram is busy and you're going to get a lot of comments and likes, because that's obviously how you're going to grow. For example, I'm not going to be posting shit at 3 AM in the morning in my time zone, because I know that no one's going to be fucking up, you know. And by the same token, I will consider when is everyone going to be up. So assuming that most of my following is on European time zones, and then probably East and West Coast of America, and then probably Australia, if I look at all those time zones and try and think of when is everybody going to be awake, so not just my UK following, but, you know, if I average it out, when am I going to have most people up and maybe on Instagram. And so there's a website that you can actually look at your stats on and check like the best time to post, also stuff like the best filter and stuff like that, or what has worked best for you, at least in the past. I think it's called, I'll put the address up, I think it's called Statigram or something. It used to be Iconosquare, but it's good, it's free, you can look at your stats and stuff, and it can really help you optimize your shit. What else do I have? Okay, so obviously the quality of your content is going to have an impact. Now, I don't want to take this over into like photography fucking tips, but maybe just be aware of the composition of your photos, stuff like the rule of thirds, shit like that. Having a good quality camera, or at least just an iPhone. iPhones are good. Not posting shit that's like fucking blurry and that. These are all pretty obvious ones that are just gonna, like, you know, draw people towards your pictures. Obviously, also, if it's a picture with people in it, faces and smiles really do well. It's just, I think as humans we're just naturally drawn to that. But you will notice, honestly, if you have a face and a smile in your photo, people really can kind of, I don't know, it's crazy out, but people would much prefer that than if you know, have your head out of it. But basically, if you're an absolute hound like me, you know, you'll notice like pretty much none of my pictures I'm like facing the camera or anything. I always like facing away, I got my head down and that's because I'll offend people with me doggy fucking head. So that's just the next best thing, but you know, whatevs. What else we got? So in terms of growing your following directly, there are pages that you can pay for shoutouts on. Now, you have to be careful with these because the page can have really shit engagement even when it has a lot of followers, and so you need to judge it based on the engagement each photo gets. But also be aware that a lot of the page's followers, and even a lot of the engagement may be fake and paid for, because in theory what I could do now, set up an Instagram page, pay for a load of fake followers, pay for a certain amount of fake likes on each picture, and then start charging people for shoutouts on my page, and there'd be no way that they could tell. And so if you are going to do that, find ones that are relevant for your niche or whatever. I think I've paid for like maybe 2 or 3, 4 shoutouts on pages like this over my time, literally just testing the water with it, not for a long time now. But if you are going to do that, what I would do is find ones relevant to your niche. Like I think fitness ones, there's one called IG Fitness Freaks, and a couple more like Shredded Life, and all these like pages, and find ones that kind of reputable people have been featured on, because then you will know that, or you can assume that they have done their research and that it's not just a page full of fake followers and fake engagement. And so if you're going to put your money into it, you want it to be spent wisely, don't you? And so that's what I'd do. I'd be looking at pages that have had people like Ross Dickerson on, and like Rakic, and like any of those, and if I wanted to do that, then I'd just plow money into those pages. Okay, aside from that, what else is there? People often share each other's pages, these share for share things, but I feel like that's not a great thing to do personally. A lot of time people come at me, oh hey bro, you know, want to do a share for share, and I'm like, well no I don't, because A, I don't want to alienate my followers by being like, hey go follow my bro, you know, it just looks cheap, and you know, you don't really want to just kind of give off that needy vibe where it's like, everyone follow me, you know, everyone follow my mate, please follow us. Like, it's just not ideal, man. And also you see a lot of people who do that, like you go on their profile and every second post is like, go follow my bro, you know, and so I'll never do that, just because I just don't believe in it. I think it cheapens your whole vibe and it's just not great, and also because you get a lot of followers over from it, but then they're just people who just clicked on you and then they don't really take an interest, you know what I mean? It's not about getting the followers, keeping the followers and making the ones you've got interested in your shit is just as important. And so a lot of the time, if it's like people who are completely different, because say someone messages me and he's from like somewhere in America, and like we've just lived completely different lives and we post different shit and our whole vibe is completely different on each of our Instagrams, and the people who follow him aren't necessarily going to be interested in me, and so they might follow me when he posts saying follow my bro, but then because all my posts will be different from his, they won't take an interest, and vice versa. And so I don't really believe in doing like share for share shit. Maybe if you have really similar followings in terms of like the content that they're after, and it's not too often, and if you can do it subtly, so if you can do it without it looking like just cheap, like a swap for followers, do you know what I mean? But however, off the back of that, if there are people you know and you are actually friends with them, and they're in your area or whatever, then by all means feature them and get featured on their Instagrams. And yeah, you should definitely be doing that. It's just like doing doing collaborations on YouTube, isn't it? You know, same kind of shit. So what else have we got? So there's programs, right? This is a little one. So there are programs that you can set up that will act on behalf of you on Instagram, and so they're like all these bots that will basically log into your Instagram and they'll like shit all the time for you, they'll comment on shit for you, all this. And doing that, just making yourself more active on Instagram, is gonna help people discover you more, because it's like, oh look, this person's always on my newsfeed because he's always like commenting on this or whatever, and so that's gonna help get you followers. But the trouble with that is that Instagram don't like it, and it's not really by the rules of Instagram, because they just want humans, you know, they don't want like robots using this shit. And so there is a danger in doing that. If you comment on something too much, there's one called follow liker, by the way. If you comment on something too much or like too much in a certain amount of time, you can get banned from Instagram, or your account shut down, or like certain restrictions in place for a certain amount of time and shit. And so if you are going to do that, something that I did for a little while, but then I stopped doing it kind of a few months back, instead of running the risk of putting my page in jeopardy, what I did is I set up a few generic fitness pages, and I ran them, just posting generic posts, like whatever, and I ran this bot on them. So I amassed followers for those, putting those at stake, and you know, because if they got shut down, I didn't give a shit. And then because they were generic fitness pages, I could feature myself on these pages as often as I wanted, and so I'd amass followers on these and then try and transfer them over to mine, and I'd never have to put my page in jeopardy by using this automated bot to comment and like shit. So that's one thing you could do. Obviously it doesn't have to be fitness, whatever your kind of area is, you can do that. What else have I got? Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I got, so hope you got something from it. It's a fucking beautiful day. Have a fucking good one. Over and out for now. Latest, peeps.
Delaney is my hero!